Wholesale to Million family, what up? Happy Friday. I don't know when I'm going to upload this video, but we're back with subscriber first wholesale deal interview, and I am excited for his story, man, because he came a long way, right? And all the things that he's been through, and so I'm excited to hear his stories. He closed his first wholesale deal for over $5,000 from North Carolina. The deal came in from a Craigslist ad. Also, too, you guys, those of you who recently closed your first wholesale deal, man, drop me a comment or email me at wholesaletomillions@gmail.com. I would love to get you on. I love these interviews because I get to listen to your stories, how you overcome whatever you overcame, got to your first wholesale deal done. And we know it, man. It's always the first one that takes the longest, and I can relate to you and all the stories that you guys, share. So I love this first wholesale deal interview, man, because it really brings me back to the day that I struggled trying to get my first deal done. So you guys put your hand together, smash a thumbs up. And if this interview, you like it or not, just show me. I don't care. Give me a thumbs up if you find value. If you like it, give me a thumbs down if you don't. So let's go at it. Put your hand, your thumbs together. Help me welcome Juan. What up, man?
What's going on, Khang? Yo, thank you so much for having me on your channel. It's really an honor. You don't know how many times I watch your first deal, subscriber first deal, and I was like, damn, when is it gonna be my day? When is it gonna be my day? And you don't know all the nuggets that I got also from all your free content, and super valuable. And I just want to say thank you so much. I've been watching you for over a year.
Wow.
Yeah, and watching like almost every single video. So it's crazy that I'm actually on your channel now. So I'm super grateful and super excited, man.
Dude, awesome, Juan. Dude, man, I want to say thank you so much, bro, for being a part of the family, dude. And I want to say thank you so much, bro, for taking your precious time to jump on and to do this with me. And dude, I mean, like, you texted me over a little bit about your stories, bro. I can't wait to hear from you personally, because it's definitely, dude, mind-blowing and inspiring. So could you share with Buddy a little bit about your stories, your background, and then we'll lead into your first wholesale deal, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. So my background story is I came to the United States when I was 13 years old, right? I went to high school. I graduated high school. I got a job for about 2 years at an auto parts store, a retail store. So I worked there. Well, actually, I got a part-time job there, and I also worked in those 2 years after graduating high school. I worked at a factory. I worked at a bakery. I worked at a bunch of different places. I was just trying to make some money and save some money, right? So 2 years after graduating, I got the opportunity to go to a community college 4 hours away from home. And I was going to have the opportunity to play soccer there for the community college, which was super exciting for me. I played soccer all my life since I was a little kid, So I ended up moving there. It was a very nice little town, 5 minutes from the beach. So it was probably the best. I lived there for 2 years. It was probably the best 2 years of my life too, just the lifestyle and going to college, playing soccer. I moved with one of my best friends over there, and it was just amazing. So that only lasted 2 years though, because I dropped out of college 2 years after going there. And so because it just wasn't for me. I never felt that there was something that I wanted to pursue. Obviously my family and I had the idea of finding something that I wanted to pursue for the rest of my life, for a doctor, being a lawyer, but I just never had that in me. School, for some reason, wasn't for me. I'm sure you relate as well. I've heard your story about dropping out of high school, right?
Absolutely,
dropping out of high school. Yeah, so it was just not for me. And I always had this entrepreneurship spirit, and I just wanted to do something, start a business, do something on the side. While going to college, I remember there was this big trend of cleaning headlights, hazy looking headlights, and since I was working at at an auto parts store, we had a new product that you can clean the headlights like super fast, super quick. And I started doing some advertisements on that. I started like doing that on the side. Like I would print out flyers, like go to the mall and put it on like cars and stuff. Like I always was looking for things and ways to make some extra money out of the, outside of the ordinary. So yeah, so that was like, I dropped out of college. I kept my part-time job, and I refused to get a full-time because I wanted to use the spare time that I had to build something, right? So that was like 10 years ago, okay? And in the 10 years up until 2017, I tried so many different things, dude. I like bought and fixed up cars and like sold them. And I started like mowing yards, like trying to like start my own thing, I was like selling internet service. I would put like my little tent on a busy street corner, and I tried to like get customers. Like I would go to the flea market and kind of do my thing. I drop shipped on the internet. Like I would buy things from wholesale places on the internet. I would sell them on eBay. I would never like touch them, see the parts, but it was never like something that I felt was sustainable, or something that I saw myself doing for a long term, So I came across real estate, because real estate was always super intriguing to me. And initially, I wanted to be an agent, right? Because that's what you hear the most. Is real estate, you relate agents, like being an agent. And I started seeing some reviews about it. It really was. I wasn't completely sure, and it had been like almost 10 years of trying so many different things. So I wanted to make sure that my next step was gonna be something that I felt I could see myself doing for a while. I was kind of like ready just to start doing something that generates money, but also that fulfills me. So I came across real estate while searching for real estate agent and the lifestyle and everything that implies with being an agent. I came across real estate wholesaling. So like the big checks, the amazing stories, that was super compelling. And I was like, wow. I really never thought that, you hear a lot of people saying that, oh, I was skeptical. I didn't know if it was true. Like there were so many stories. Like if you don't believe it's true, like, there's something wrong with you. Like there's so many people can't be lying about the same thing. You just gotta have an open mind and decide to try yourself and find out yourself if it works or not. So that was 2017, right? I bought a program from Ty Lopez that kind of like he was doing this with Cole Hatter, I think his name is.
Yeah.
So I bought the program. I started going through it. I started implementing kind of like not all the way, but I started implementing. I started like doing my calls, like my first calls. I recorded my call actually. That I made. It was like terrible. Now I listen to it. I don't know if it happens to you. Like maybe you recorded like some of your initial calls, and now that you listen to it, like it makes you cringe, And yeah, I recorded my calls, and they were like terrible, dude. Like, but I was driving for dollars a little bit. I was cold calling a little bit. I was super afraid of cold calling, and I had to step out of my comfort zone. And I knew that that was something I was gonna have to overcome if I wanted to make this work. So then, little after that, my wife got pregnant. Right, we had been trying for 2 years to have a baby. My wife got pregnant, and that took time out of my hands. So much time, and her pregnancy was a little bit risky as well, because the whole situation of having different blood type her from the baby, like it was a super risky pregnancy. So that required a lot of my attention, a lot of my time, and well, the baby was born, and last year August 2018, I was like, I gotta dive into this. Like, in those since 2017 to last year when I started implementing and going full throttle, that's when I came across your videos. That's when I was watching your videos. I was watching other YouTubers as well, but you were the one that I connected to the fastest and the easiest. Because I mean, your personality is super genuine. Your energy, you're super fun, and no, I really appreciate it. Because before that, I was following some people in the real estate, but you can tell that there was that genuine factor was missing. And it was hard to connect with them, and it's hard to follow somebody and to listen to somebody when you don't connect with them. So I was super happy, super glad that I found you, and besides your personality, your content was super valuable. Because you can have a good personality, a good energy, but the value doesn't match up. Your values was super good, and while I was working, I would wait for my lunch break, and instead of like eating, I would go and drive for dollars. Now I was doing this like with a very limited time that I had. I would go drive for dollars for the whole hour that I had a lunch break at work, and I would like keep watching videos. I was getting like obsessed with real estate. Anything I would get home any time that I had off, I would watch a video. I would like take notes, and I would try to make a cold call. But the cold calling, talking to sellers is so important. That's another thing that I love. That's another reason why I love your content, because the role plays that you did, dude, that helped me so much. Like I was a disaster talking to sellers, and I was relying on practice, and I was like, okay, well, eventually, a nugget from one YouTube video, a nugget from another YouTube video, I'm gonna kind of put my script together, but I was relying mostly on practice, and I was wasting so much time. And it's funny because like I watched so many of your YouTube videos of the role playing, and I actually like I would puzzle your script together. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna puzzle. He said this, okay, you need to say this, and I would put it in order. Like after 10, 20 videos, I was like, holy shit, I have kind of like his script, and it works. Like it's something that I feel comfortable saying, and I could tell the difference when I was talking to sellers. But I was like, as soon as I get my first wholesale deal, if this is how powerful I feel it is, just by puzzling the script together, grabbing one thing from one video, I can't imagine having the whole thing. So one of my goals was to buy your King Kong script like as soon as I closed my deal, and that's exactly what I did. That's when I send you a message. So back in 2000, like I said, last year August, I decided to dive in. I was still doing part-time, but I was like fully committed. Like every single minute that I had off, it was like real estate related. I was calling, I was like driving for dollars. I was knocking on doors. I was trying to get creative. I was like on Facebook Marketplace. I would search for the word divorce, like how people sell their stuff and they say divorce sale. I would message all these people, and it didn't have to be in my town. It would be like anywhere, because at that point I knew I could do virtually wholesaling. So yeah, I went full throttle, and then like right before I got my first deal, I heard you say in one of your videos that you were talking to John, to your student, that he has to post. I don't know if it was one of the videos that you were talking to him, or just any other random video of yours that you said to post on Craigslist at least 3 times a day. And that's what I did. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm doing all these things, driving for dollars, knocking on doors, cold calling. But let me try that. And I really didn't think that would work, because I'm like, yo, if somebody wants to sell their house, they're gonna go to Google, they're gonna go somewhere else. Craigslist is the last place I will go to try to sell my house or find somebody that will buy my house. So I was like skeptical, but I heard you say it, and I heard other people say it too, and I was like, well, okay, I gotta try. You know, if people are talking about it, I gotta try it. And dude, I went to, like, first of all, in order to create because a lot of people have asked me, like, when you posted that my story on your Instagram, like, and when I posted my first wholesale deal story on another group, a lot of people were asking me about how I worded my ad on Craigslist. And what I did was, like, I went to the very busy markets like Arizona, Las Vegas, Atlanta, and I looked for the We Buy Houses ads, and I either copied some of them, or I grabbed, like, the best things from all the different ads that I saw, and I created my own. Right, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like, these guys obviously have been doing it for a while. It's probably working for most of them. So I just had to grab the things that I wanted to include in my ad. So I made a really nice ad. I tried to make it super compelling for people, for whoever, you know, would go in there and see it, and, you know, wants to sell their house. Dude, 2 days later, I got a message. 2 days later that said, I woke up to a message. The guy said, hey, I own a house at blah, 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 and I want to see if you would like to buy it. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. That worked. So I sent him a message. I was like, okay, can I have the address, please? He gave me the address. And I was like, can I give you a call? Can I give you a quick call to ask you a few questions about the property? So I started talking to him. I gave him a call, and it was nice talking to a motivated seller, because, like, that was the first time I experienced talking to a motivated seller, you know, and that was completely different than all the other calls that I had been in, where people wanted retail, they wanted too much, they just didn't, you know, people, you know, I was told so many things. I didn't get cussed out, but people would tell me, like, don't waste people's time trying to offer them the money like that. You know, people, so many rejections, like, in the 6 months that I was going full throttle. And, well, anyways, um, this guy, I talked to him. He told me that he had purchased a property for investment. It was actually a duplex, and it was in a below average area. Like, you would say, it's not ghetto, but close to ghetto. Okay, so the guy had purchased it, and he ended up having to relocate. So the property was abandoned for a whole year, right? He had to relocate to another state, and he told me that his wife was actually sick. She had cancer, and she was about to go through the chemotherapy, and he didn't want anything to do with the property. He was like, he wanted to give his whole attention to his wife and her recovery, and he just wanted to sell the property. And I asked him all the questions. At this point, I was, like, way more comfortable with the script and talking to him because of your videos and all the role play videos you did. So he told me he wanted 25,000, lowest 20,000. He told me, okay. At this point, I had already researched the property. It was worth about 60 something. It was a 2-level duplex. And I was like, okay, 20, 25. I mean, that's sounding good. That sounds like a deal. And so I got all the information from him. I asked him what the repairs were. He said he had no idea because he hadn't been in the property in like a whole year or more. And he said that he had given permission to a homeless guy to live in the property to kind of take care of it, or make sure that nobody breaks in or anything like that. And so this guy was living in the property, and he told me that his brother was the one that was stopping by the property every once in a while. You know, the brother lived in the town where the house was, in my town, and he would be stopping by the property to check on it, but his brother didn't really know exactly the condition of it either. So I was like, okay, I'll get in touch with your brother so I'll go and see the property, and you know, we can talk about the offer. So we hang up. I tried to get in touch with the brother. He doesn't answer, and at this point I'm very curious, like, what the outside condition is. So I drove by the property like 30 minutes after I got off the phone with the seller, I drove by the property and I wanted to like, there was no way to like, the driveway was kind of weird anyway. So I had to park like 2 houses down, right? It was actually like a tire shop that I had to park in. That was like two houses down from this house. And I got out of my car. I started walking towards the house, and I see like people coming in and out, like squatter looking people coming in and out of the house. And dude, like at this point, like I was a little scared because like obviously I wasn't gonna like stop at the house and be like, oh yeah, I'm looking to buy this house, and you know, these people again, you don't know how these people can react, and some of these people will probably take it personal. You're trying to take their space or something, you know. So I passed by the house. I kept walking. Like at this point, I put my, because people were looking at me weird too. Like, you know, this guy passing by the house, like walking by, like super suspicious. Had never seen in that area before, in that block. So I was like, I put my hands, you know, a bunch of different things were going through my mind, right? I put my hands in my sweater, and I was like, you know, it's just in case they try to make a move or something, you know, they might think that I'm holding something in my sweater, like a gun or something. So, you know, they won't do anything. So I kind of took a quick peek at the property. It looked like it needed a roof, you know, it looked in rough shape, but I couldn't go in. So I got back in my car. I went home, and the next day I got in touch with the brother. Finally, we set up a date to the next day to go look at the property. I called one of my best friends who he's pretty big, and I was like, just in case, because I'm gonna walk in the house, I don't know, you know, who I'm gonna find in there, how these people are gonna react. So we went in the house. The brother obviously was there as well. And when we went in the house, it was just this one guy that they had, the homeless guy that they had made the agreement with to live there, you know. So I went and took a walkthrough video of the property. The whole property was like trashed inside. I was like, yo, this property needs a full rehab. It was like completely trashed. And so, okay, well, I took a walkthrough video of the property so I could send it to the buyers, right? And at this point, you know, when the guy was like 20, you know, I found out how much the repairs was gonna be. Like, I estimated like around $40,000, at least $40,000. And I was like, yo, there's no deal. Like, it's 67 ARV, 67,000 ARV, 40,000 repairs. You know, that's 27 left, and the seller is looking for 25 to 20. You know, it's no deal at all. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to negotiate with him, but I don't know how much low. You know, I will have to give him, like, based on the idea that I had, you know, the 70% off for the investor, and then my fee, repairs, you know, the formula. I was like, I'm gonna have to offer him like $1,000, $2,000 to make this deal work, and obviously he's not gonna take that. No matter how, like, unless he's like super motivated, even though he was, but I didn't think he would take anything like that. So I talked to him. I sent him I sent the seller the walkthrough video, and I was like, hey, let's call him George. Hey, George, I went by the property. I noticed that it was it needs like a full rehab in its roof, in its foundation, in its everything, in its kitchen, bathroom, in its everything. And I talked to my purchase manager, and the most that we can offer is $11,000. And when I sent him the offer, like, the back of my head, I was like, please don't accept it, because like giving at $11,000 is no deal. So it's probably gonna like fall through, or, you know. But I wasn't gonna give up. I was just gonna like try anything and everything. So I told him like $11,000. That's the most we can give you. And I hope that you understand. I hope you understand that we're not trying to get rich here. We just don't want to get stuck in a bad deal, you know. And I'll send you the walkthrough video, so you have a better idea of so you can understand our offer a little bit better, and whether you decide to sell the house to us, or now I'll still send you the walkthrough video, which I'm sure will be helpful for you to whenever you decide to sell it. So I sent him the walkthrough video. He was like, oh, he sent me, before I tried to call him to tell him to give him the offer, by the way, and he didn't respond. So I ended up texting all this to him. And he responded back and he was like, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. And that's when I threw in one of your lines, a line that I worked that is super valuable. Little things like that are super, super valuable, dude. Like compared, like if you wouldn't do them, like it makes a big difference. I told him that, okay, I totally understand, but I just want to let you know that our company only validates the offer for 48 hours. And the reason is because, you know, in the next couple of days, we might commit to other properties that we're looking at. I learned that one from you. So I was sure that I was gonna rush him to respond, right, and kind of give it some urgency to the offer. So 2 days after, he responded and he was like, okay, I'll take the offer. So I was like, oh, holy crap! So now I gotta make this deal work that in my head like cannot work because the spread, the margins are not there, you know, and you know, but that's the inexperienced me, because now that I look back to it, you know, it was a duplex. Like whoever was gonna, like I was thinking that whoever bought the house, the duplex, was gonna put a full rehab and was gonna try to resell it. And I was like, you know, there's no money for them to make there. But I never crossed my mind that was he didn't be much less. Never crossed my mind that the person who bought it was gonna rent it out. He wasn't gonna want to sell it necessarily. Like he could rent it out and still make some passive income from that, especially since it's a duplex. And so he accepted the offer. He was like he asked for $11,410, which was what he owed $410 from property taxes. So he was like, "Could you guys do that?" And I was like, "I gotta get approval from my purchase manager. You know, I'll get back to you on that. I got that one from you too." and okay, so I got back to him like a couple of hours later, I think, or the day before, I can't remember. I mean, the day after, I can't remember. And I was like, "Okay, we'll do that. We're gonna be able to give you the $11,410." So okay, so I sent him. You know, this is another thing that I learned, and when I decided to make a commitment, I was like, I'm gonna stop like reading, listening, getting so much information, getting overwhelmed, and I'm just gonna take it one step at a time. Like one step at a time. Like I get the property under contract, then I figure out how to do how to find the contract. I had a bunch of contracts that I had come across like in the 6 months before the deal that I didn't even look at them, because I was like, you know, it's a waste of time for me to go through the contract and try to understand it, because I don't have a property under contract yet. So I had a couple of contracts there. So okay, I put it under contract. I took me kind of hours to figure out the DocuSign thing to send the contract to the seller, and then, you know, I sent it to him. He signed it, and then it took me a couple more hours to find the contract, and that one, it took me a little bit longer because I wanted the contracts that I had saved in the previous months, like they didn't make too much sense to me, right? And I wanted to make sure that I gave him a contract that made sense to me in case that he calls me and he's like, "Yo, what does this mean?" And you know, I was gonna be able to explain it to him. So it had to be a simple contract, but you know, making sure that he had all the clauses there that was gonna protect me as well. So that took me like hours to find the right contract, one that made sense to me. And anyway, so but you know, that was the process of taking it one step at a time. Then I sent him the contract, he signed it, and after that was like trying to find a buyer, right? I did not have any buyers from some of the wholesaling groups, you know, or real estate investing groups in Facebook. There were like 1, 2, or 3 that I had gathered their information from, you know, that they always post that, you know, they're looking to buy houses, blah, blah. So I sent the deal to them, and well, before sending the deal, I had to determine how much I was gonna ask for, right? And I was like, yo, like let's give it a try. Like I'm not feeling very confident about this deal going through because of the margins, but okay, like I was like, okay, I'm gonna give him 11. Seller is asking for 11,410, and what should I ask? I was like, should I try to make $2,000 to try to sell the deal, like $3,000? And I was like, dude, you know what? I'm gonna start high, like as high as possible, as high as I think is fair, for the end buyer. So I was like, the worst that can happen is I don't get any responses and I can start going down in price. So I was like, first I was about to post it for or to ask for $15,000, which was gonna give me like a $3,000 and something, and that was still gonna be big. It was my first deal. I was gonna prove that it's real, that I can do it. I wasn't really worried, like you said, I wasn't really worried about the money. I just wanted to get the first deal done and prove it to myself and learn from the process, most importantly, because I knew that learning from the process and being familiar somehow, I know that every deal is different, but being somehow familiar with the process was gonna give me the confidence to go and just take even more massive action and don't and not stop. So I determined to ask for $17,000. I was like, wow, if I get 17,000, I'll be happy, So I put it. I sent the offer with the walkthrough video to these guys that I had, this couple of guys that I had met on the real estate investing Facebook groups, and they saw it. They saw that the property was trashed. I don't know if it was the area as well, and they said that they were gonna pass on it, and I was like, okay. So I posted it on Craigslist, and I didn't get much response from it. One person, but it didn't go through. I posted it on Facebook Marketplace. It was like 5 a.m, right? I had stayed up all night, like trying to figure out like so many things about this deal and how to make it work. And I posted it at 5 a.m. on I just posted the image of the house walkthrough video. I was like, real investor special, asking blah blah blah, and send me a message. I'll send you the walkthrough video. That I was planning on just posting posting it there on Facebook Marketplace and going to sleep and see the next morning if somebody like answered to it. So right like a minute after I posted the house, and it was like 5 a.m. They're like, I think it was like 4 something in the morning. It was even earlier. Like 2 or 3 people responded. Like one of the guys was Hispanic. So we started talking, and he told me that he was in construction, that he knew how to build a house from the ground up, So that gave me a little bit more confidence about, him not backing up at the end, like looking at the property, how trash the property was. He wasn't gonna be scared of how bad the property could be, So I told him all the details that the house. I sent him the video, and he watched the video. He told me that okay, he wants it. Okay, well, I was like, okay, let's do it. And he was like, can you do anything less? I was like, no, you know what? I'm getting a lot of messages, and 17 is the least that I'm gonna take. He was like, okay, I have a couple of the properties in that area, and I wanna buy it. And I was like, okay, cool. So we set an appointment for the next day for him to sign the contract. So after that, I had to like the same process we find in the contract for the assignment. I spent a couple of hours trying to find one that works, that made sense to me, and that was easy to understand, and all that. And so I met him. I met him the next day. And the next day when I woke up, by the way, I had like 100 messages in my inbox about the house. I'm not exaggerating, like at least 100 messages on my inbox right? And I had already made the commitment with this guy, and actually this guy in our conversation, he told me that, you know, that he hopes that I was serious because he had been talking to other people, wholesalers that were trying to sell a house, and last minute they tried to bring up the price. They backed out, and he was like, you know, I don't like that kind of stuff. So I hope that you're serious. And I was like, no, you know what? I'm looking to build a long-term relationship. So if I'm giving you my word, then that's gonna be the price. Even if I get other offers, then that's okay. I already gave you my word that's gonna be the price. So you know, it was a little tempting to take the other offers that other people were giving me, but I was like, you know, screw it, just get it over with and build this relationship, which is going to be way more beneficial than getting a couple extra $1,000. And it's going to be more beneficial in the long run, building this relationship with this buyer. So okay, I met him the next day. He signed the contract. I told him about the non-refundable. He told me that the few properties that he had purchased before that, he told me that he had just started investing. By the way, he had like 2 or 3 houses, but he didn't have too much experience like buying houses. He had experience like fixing them up and everything, but in the business of investing, he wasn't very experienced. So he told me that a few houses he had purchased before he didn't have to put a deposit, a non-refundable. I explained to him why it was fair for both of us for him to put a non-refundable deposit and all that. So he agreed. Then the next day, my homework was to find a title company now, because like I said, I took one step at a time, dude. One step at a time. I didn't worry about any steps ahead of me before I got to that actual step. So I started like messaging some of the wholesalers that I knew were making deals in the area to give me some information about the title companies, the title attorneys. And so I found a couple. Then before that, before any of these wholesalers sent me the information, I was making some calls to some attorneys as well, real estate attorneys, and a lot of them didn't want to deal with the assignment contracts. So I was like, okay, I heard that this was going to happen. Not everybody's going to want to do it. Not everybody knows how to do it. So finally, I found a real estate attorney that wanted to do it, that hadn't done it before actually, but was open to doing it. And I took both of the contracts to him. The buyer took the $5,000 non-refundable. The next day, he sent me a picture. He sent me proof that he had already taken that to him. And so that, you know, after that, I was like, it started to feel real. You know, I was like, wow, okay, the contracts are already with the attorney. Now everything from here, like I don't have to do much from here. Everything is up to the attorney. So it took like almost a month to close, for the deal to close, because the seller had to give power of attorney to the brother. The brother took a little longer than he should have to return the paperwork to the attorney. You know, it took like a whole month, but finally the property closed, and I got my first check, man. It was super exciting. I was super grateful, super happy that it happened. You know, so long that I have waited, and it was real. You know, that first deal. You know, before that, when I started diving in on August last year, I bought me a calendar board to put like on my wall, and on the bottom I have made a rectangle, and I wrote down reserved for my first real estate deal. And I looked at that every single day, and I put today's date was August 16, I think, 2018. So, you know, I kept looking at that every single day. And I was like, you know, that check, you know, once I put that check on that rectangle, it's gonna be a crazy feeling. So yeah, man. So that's how it happened. A week after, a couple of days after, I got the message from this seller, like about selling his property. I got I got a call from a person from Craigslist as well. I called her. She was super motivated as well. I went the next day to her property with the contract, with the offer. She signed the contract right there and then when I was doing the walkthrough of the property, because I knew that she was super motivated. So I was like, I had to go as soon as possible. I went the next day. I talked to her. I took my contract. She signed the contract. This was about 3 days after the initial motivated seller had called me. So in a week, I had 2 contracts. One for $10,000, the other one for $5,590. And the second deal closed in about a month too. But yeah, it was crazy. They're like two deals, 2 motivated. What are the chances of 2 motivated sellers from a Craigslist ad in a week? And I had just posted the Craigslist ad 2 days before I got the responses from these guys. But before that, there was a lot of work behind, and it was crazy that I was putting so much work and so much time in driving for dollars, knocking on doors, knocking on neighbors' doors, skip tracing, cold calling, like for 6 months, and just a Craigslist ad did it. That doesn't happen every day, but when you persist and when you get creative, you're resourceful, find ways to make it work, and don't give up. It's a matter of time, dude. It's a matter of time if you don't quit. So yeah, dude, that was the story.
Juan, bro, I want to say, dude, congrats, man. What an awesome story, dude. And you guys got to understand, man, when you're single, it's one thing. When you're with a partner, like when you're married or when you're with a partner, boyfriend and girlfriend, it's another thing. And dude, let me tell you, when you have a kid, it's another thing. So, dude, like I can only imagine how hard it is taking time away from your kids, knowing that, you know what, I got to make the sacrifices, right? I got to willing to sacrifice the time away from my kid, even though you just want to spend all your time with your little kid, right? But you have to make some time for your business because you want a better future for them and obviously do it for yourself, your family, and for the kids, dude. So that's amazing, bro. Dude, amazing, bro. So wait.
Dude, that is so true.
Yeah, so you close
on the Go ahead.
So you close on the first deal, $55.90, and then the $10,000 after that, it's closed, it's done, money in the bank.
Oh yeah, both closed in about a week. Yeah, dude. Both closed in about a week. So it was almost $16,000 from 2 deals that happened. I mean, they took a month to close, but it wasn't really a month of work because most of that month was handled by the attorney.
Yep.
So it was 2 deals that came from Craigslist ads, and they contacted me in like 2 days apart, 2-3 days apart from each other.
Amazing, though, dude. You guys gotta understand, man. Being persistent and consistent, dude. After 6 months, rolling out of your bed every single day, not seeing the results that you do. Do you know how frustrating it is to wake up every day and feel like you're still learning, you're trying to implement, applying anything, and nothing happens? Do you know how easy it is to give up? Dude, extremely easy just to give up and let go, man. Because you feel like nothing is happening. But, dude, it's just like when people sit 3 feet away from goal, man. The next day that you wake up, that phone call, that one app that you post up, dude, might be the one. So just don't give up too soon. So, dude, 6 months, man. It took me 6 months to do my first one as well, man. So, Juan, dude, congrats on everything. Congrats on the baby. Congrats on everything, bro. I'm so happy and excited for you, dude. I honestly, truly do. I really, you know what, to me is, man, I love seeing people that are willing to put in the work and the grind and the hustle and just try and make it in life, man, because I can relate to that, man. When I first, dude, I just try and make it in life. You know what I mean? So I like it when people, I love helping people that help themselves and willing to put in the work and the grind and the hustle. And they know that, that when they choose the path of being an entrepreneur, want to live that lifestyle, the time of freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want, anytime, dude, you choose the route that you're choosing is not for the normal people. So it's expect something unnormal that's going to be required from you, dude. So I don't know what else to say, man, but just to say congrats. And to wrap this up, man, I want to use, I mean, your story pretty much explains everything already from the assignment. Oh, I want to, go ahead, man.
I didn't mention that when I decided to dive in, I actually quit my job. One of the part-time jobs that the same job that I had been in for 10 years. I finally quit it, and I was like, that was the moment. You know, I quit it also because of other circumstances, but that was one of the motivators that was like, yo, I gotta dive into this wholesale thing. And at that point, I was like super obsessed because, you know, I had this fire in me that I felt that I hadn't let it out yet, because I had been doing it like little by little, like when I had free time. But I was like, yo, I had to commit. In that calendar board that I told you I got, I had a schedule. I had a schedule like this day, Monday through Sundays. I'm gonna, like, each day, this is the time that I'm gonna invest in real estate, and you know, I had to stick to that. I had a quote that I looked at it every single day, which was, you know, the faster you fail, the faster you'll be successful, because that was one of the main things, you know, that stops people from taking action, from pushing forward, is the fear of not knowing how to handle the next thing that is going to come their way. You know, the fear of the unknown, the fear of rejection, the fear of failure. You know, and I understood that you just have to keep failing, because the faster you fail, the faster you'll be successful. That's the only way to learn. Like, the failing, no matter how many videos, audios like you listen to, like, you know, there is zero transformation with no application, you know, and only information. There is zero transformation. So you gotta make sure you apply what you learn to be able to see the results. And I kept looking at that quote every single day. That's, you know, you can people find a bunch of different quotes that relate to them, or that connects to them, but this one was the one for me, you know, because anytime that I felt that, like, quitting, anytime that I felt frustrated, you know, I would keep talking to people, you know, calling 3, 4, 5 different phone numbers for just one property. I wouldn't get an answer. I would knock on doors, like, people would tell me to stop calling them. And I was like, yo, I just got to keep failing, dude. I just got to keep failing, and it's going to happen eventually. It's going to happen eventually if I don't quit. They say there is no wholesaler failure, right? There's only a wholesaler quitter. Because, you know, if you don't quit, there's no way you're going to fail. It's just a matter of time and repetition, dude.
I couldn't even say that any better, man. Juan, dude, awesome, man. The man speaks it all. Man, Juan, I want to say thank you so much, bro. And
no, thank you,
Juan,
thank you.
Hey, so now let's wrap it up, man. How do people connect with you?
People can reach me on Instagram. It's Juan, Juan X, and Manuel, which is Manuelx. Juan X Manuel X. That's awesome. My Instagram. Anybody can send me a message there. I'll try to answer as many messages that I get as possible. I know so many people are trying to get their first deal done, and I totally identify with that. And, you know, if anything I can help with, I'll answer any questions.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, you guys. I'll make sure I leave it in the description so you guys can go connect with Juan, JV, do deals. Like Juan said, you guys can ask him any questions. You know, that's why these kind of interview and being a part of the family like this, you guys, you'll be able to reach out to other people and things like that, connect with them, get some tips, advice, or opinions just to help you get to your first deal. Those of you who haven't followed my Instagram, man, you've been watching all the way to now, hit me up on IG, Khang, Khang, .like WTM. And I want to say this before I wrap it up, just like Juan said at the beginning. You know, you watch people doing deals, doing checks, you watch a subscriber first wholesale deal, and you're like, hey, is this real? Dude, first of all, to me, man, is that first you got to believe that it is possible. Because if you don't, then what do? You're not going to do anything about it, right? You're not going to try to dig in and dissect it and see how you can do it. So first, you have to believe that this business is possible. It is real. It is legal. It is legit. All right. Second is you have to believe in yourself that you can do it, doesn't matter what percentage, but you have to believe that you can do it. And then third, you have to take massive action. And the thing is, you guys got to understand, just like Juan said, man, when you learn something, you listen to something, you watch something, but if you don't apply, if you don't implement, you don't get nothing. There's no result. You won't know what's right, what's wrong, and what's not to do and what to do. You don't know the next step to take, all right? And the thing is, you guys, do not let somebody's failure determine your success. So if everybody that you hear said, I fail at it, and you be like, oh, well, everybody fail, man, I'm not going to, dude, listen to me, dude. Why would you let somebody's failure determine if you're going to be successful or not? All right? They try, but you commit. The difference between trying and committing, do you know what that is, man? Trying is testing. If it doesn't work, they let go. But when you commit, that's when you know you're going to commit until you make it. So, so to me, that's why I said success is like a marriage. When you make a commitment, it's different than trying. One person tried, you commit, right? And don't let their failure determine if you're going to be successful or not. Because maybe they only give it 90%. Maybe you're going to give 130%. So do not compare you. Like I have people ask me about the success rate. Who cares, man? Who care about the success rate? Remember just like the story, the 4-minute mile. The success rate on that is what? Everybody failed. But the guy said, dude, you ain't me, man. I'm going to show you how it's done. So anyways, you guys, I want to say, if you are exposed to this business, take massive action, man, and let's make things happen. And when you close your first wholesale deal, I would love to get you onto the channel to share your story. Juan, thank you so much for your time, dude. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much for having me, Khang. I'm really, really honored to have been on your channel, really. I mean, I looked at you and I was like, when is that going to happen, And now that's just crazy that I'm on here. And I want to stress